I want you to raise your hand if you think you can run a 5K. Awesome. Keep it raised if you think you can run a 10K. Keep it raised if you think you can run a half marathon, which is 21 kilometers. What about a marathon, which is 42 kilometers? Keep it raised if you think you can run 100 miles, which is 160 kilometers. I see a few brave souls, but if you put your hand down at any point, there's no shame in that. Running is daunting. It's difficult, boring, and if you're not accustomed to it, you may be concerned about bad knees or hips. Maybe you haven't been to the gym in a while, or your cardio isn't up to par. Those are all valid concerns. But I want to give you some good news. You have the ability to run 100 miles, and you have the ability to do it today. Here's why. The average height and weight for a Canadian person is 5'7" and 175 pounds. The average body fat percentage for a Canadian person is 20%. So let's say you're perfectly average. 5'7", 175 pounds, 20% body fat. 20% of 175 is 35, meaning you have 35 pounds of stored fat on your body. Each pound of fat contains 3,500 calories. 3,500 times 35 is 122,000, which is how many calories of stored energy you have. The average person will burn around 100 calories per mile. This means, from a metabolic perspective, the average Canadian has enough energy to run over 1,000 miles right now. Isn't that incredible? Suddenly, 100 miles doesn't seem so extreme. Part of what makes running so fascinating is that the barrier to entry is so low. You needed to learn to ride a bike. You needed to learn to swim. Nobody needed to teach you how to run. You just knew. And you knew because it is deeply ingrained in our identity as a species. To understand why, we need to go back about 7 million years. This is approximately when there was a split in the lineage between what would become chimpanzees and what would become humans. Let's take a look at a photo. What are some differences we can see? Well, we have less hair, we're taller, we have larger craniums, we're better looking, but the main difference, and the most crucial one, is that we stand on two legs. Standing on two legs lets us do a number of different things. We become taller and can see farther. We have more of our skin exposed to the wind for better cooling. We can use our hands to make and manipulate things. But the one we'll be focusing on is this. Standing on two legs makes us extremely efficient at using oxygen. If we line up against a chimpanzee in a 100-meter dash, it's going to whoop our butt. Chimps are built for quick bursts of speed, situations like getting away from a predator or getting to prey. But if we line up against that same chimpanzee in a half marathon, that chimp doesn't stand a chance. This is because of how the breathing mechanics of a chimpanzee operate. Its lungs are stuck between four limbs that are being used for movement. Because of this, it can only take one breath per step. So its breathing pattern is coupled to its movement pattern. Our lungs are not stuck between four limbs being used for movement because we only use two limbs to move. And so we can breathe independently of how we are moving. This makes us, humans, the best endurance athlete in the mammalian class. In fact, we are such good athletes that we can outrun horses. It sounds crazy, I know, but bear with me. A well-conditioned horse can run up to 100 miles in 24 hours, which sounds impressive, until you consider the fact that a well-conditioned human can cover double that distance in that amount of time. And the world record for running 100 miles is under 11 hours. And the furthest a human has run without stopping is 350 miles, which is 560 kilometers. Why are we better athletes than horses? For the same reason we're better than the chimpanzee. When a horse runs, it overbreathes and it overheats. It needs to rest and pant in order to recover. When we run, we keep our breathing under control, keep ourselves cool, and deliver oxygen to our muscles at a rate that allows them to function indefinitely. This is the foundation of the persistence hunting hypothesis, which suggests our species may have evolved by literally running wild animals to the point of exhaustion. Whether or not this hypothesis is true is beside the point. But what I believe the mere entertainment of this idea emphasizes is that humans are amazing creatures, and you are a human. Okay, but maybe you're not a well-conditioned human. I'm not saying you have to go run 100 miles today. In fact, it's probably a bad idea for most people to attempt that without proper training. But if you do, the muscles in your legs will not let you down. The only troublesome muscle is between your ears. The only thing stopping you from achieving what 5 minutes ago you thought to be impossible is you. So what's stopping you from running 100 miles? Well, for starters, you probably have better things to do. You could watch a movie, sit by the fire with your partner, watch the sunset, scroll Instagram. Maybe you've got a job to be at or a family to take care of. And that's fair enough. But you probably wouldn't even consider starting because you think you can't do it. And that's actually better. Because if you think you can't, it means you don't have to try. But you can do it. If you can't run, you can walk. If you can't walk, you can crawl. If you need to sleep, sleep. But with the right motivation, there is nothing stopping you from getting up right now and going from here to Victoria and back 10 times. I want to be clear that this is not a speech about running. I'm a runner, and this is what makes sense to me. So if you're not a runner, I encourage you to ask yourself what else you're telling yourself you can't do. What's stopping you from answering every email you have and clearing out your entire inbox in one sitting? Or reading an entire book in a day? Or writing birthday cards to each friend and family member you care about? Or cleaning your entire house? Is your work subpar? Could your relationships be deeper? Could you read more? Because in this life, you will run up against pain, boredom, and self-doubt. And when you do, I hope you will consider the fact that your capacities are probably far greater than you give yourself credit for. And we'll start with this. Raise your hand if you know you can run a 5K. Keep it raised if you know you can run 100 miles. Thank you.